Hello, welcome to Krafting Kitty. My name is Erin, and it's Saturday! So that means it is time for my weekly roundup. Yeah! So what is my weekly roundup? It is where I go through my week in crafting and in general. It was a doozy. But I'm also going through my stitch marker of the day. So I have the fall color set from Miss Ellie Leva at Ellie Leva's Crafts and More. I am on day 11. So let's see what she has to offer before I hop into the rest of my tales. Oh, there's a pumpkin confetti. Put it right there. Oh, this is so cute. So it's like one of those smaller Gordy pumpkins with beautiful fall beads. That is so cute. Oh, I love it. I really am enjoying this set, Ellie. I say it every time, and it's always true. Definitely, if you have the opportunity to nab one of these, I do not think you would be disappointed in the least. So I'm adding this one to the set, and we'll see what the rest have in store. So this week, you may have noticed I was a little not the best at uploading videos. We don't like to say anything before it happens, but Brian was out of town all week. So it was just me and the kids. And when that happens, I normally have been a little more on the ball and had things pre-recorded and uploaded. I didn't, and it showed. So I do apologize, but I just didn't have it in me to handle everything. So real life comes first, and that's just how it had to be. Brian is now home, and I have a few moments to breathe by myself. And hooray! So, yeah, it's part of life. It's what happens. It's part of his job. It happens. Luckily, it doesn't happen that often. But, of course, that did put a little kink in any crafting, but that's okay, because, again, that's life. What I have today is... No, I have 4. I was going to say I have 3, but I have 4 completed objects to share. Objects, loosely. So, I continued working on the granny squares. So, the challenge from Laura at Mad Mimi's Crochet and Farming was to make 17 squares, send them in with, not to Mimi, not to Laura, don't send them to Laura. I'm now blanking on whether or not they go to Lynn-Ann or Lynette. I will figure out who I sent them to before I send them. Don't worry. But, Laura challenged us to make 17 squares, send them away so they can be made into blankets for Boggy Creek. And if you included the words quack, 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 some reference to quack, Laura will make additional squares. Laura does not like making squares, but for charity, she will do so. So the challenge was 17. I have 18 right now. I started with some mauve and kind of red yarn that I just had sitting next to me in like my, my leftover bin. And then I realized I had that baby blankie yarn from the Mary Maxim test, and I had a lot of it left over. And I was like, that would probably work really well for granny squares. So I started making them. So that's where all of these have come from. And I have a touch of that yarn left. I think I can make 2 to 3 more squares out of it. So my plan is to just finish off that yarn in the squares, send them all off with my quack quack, and join the fun. It's certainly a very worthy cause. So I've officially met the 17, and I'm going over. Other than that, I did make another washcloth, again, for charity purposes. This is going to the Starfish Association. They have washing stations. They make, they have like tiny home communities. They help homeless vets get back on their feet. Heather from Strings and Threads was doing her Scrubby Sunday thing, and they reached out to her and said, hey, you're making lots of washcloths. We need some washcloths. Maybe. And she put out the call. So many people are joining in and making washcloths. They are collecting them through November 11th. If you want more information, please go to Heather's channel. She's kind of the organizer, point person with the organization. But I do have their information linked down below because many people were asking in the comments. So it's probably easier to just put it in my description box as well. But for full information, please go to Heather, who will be linked down below as well. This one is a Tunisian simple stitch washcloth. And in my last one, I got a lot of really good tips on how to prevent the curling in that washcloth. So this one, I'm sorry, I wish I could remember the commenter's name, but she said that she likes to flip the work and do her single crochets so it would be like the wrong side showing on, you know, just turn your work and do it basically so the tension is pulling the other direction and it helps flatten it. And I thought that is brilliant because in all the tutorials I was seeing, they were doing the rounds of single crochet, but they were doing them on the same side as their work. They weren't flipping it. So I thought I'd try that out, and I think it worked wonderfully. This is a simple Tunisian simple crochet washcloth, but I've done the single crochet border with it flipped. And look at how much less curl I'm having. And this is just one single round of single crochets around it. If I had gone more, it might have, you know, pulled it a little more and done a little better with this. This is these two ends will always curl the worst. It's just the nature of the pearls on the back. So I'm familiar with that from knitting. That I totally get that. But anyway, this is going to be added to my stack. It's not, I didn't follow any particular tutorial for this one. I basically was like, oh, I need to make a washcloth this week. Grabbed some yarn and said, simple stitch. I know it off the top of my head. Let's do it. So I did it. So yeah, that'll be added to my pile. I will send that in. My plan is I have 3 more skeins of this yarn. It's a Lily Sugar and Cream cotton that I got on clearance from Michaels. So I'll finish off this yarn, package it all up, send them all off in one pack, and then we'll see what, you know, where the timing lies. I might actually be a little close to the deadline on that. Maybe, no, we're middle. I'll figure it out. The second to last thing, the third thing I have to show, is I have been working on the Mary Maxim reviews. So I did finish kind of the double crochet beanie that I've been doing to test the yarn. This is the Artist's palette I'm working on. If you want a little hint preview, I've barely started the knit project, but I am continuing that. I know I said hopefully every week to 2 weeks. Kinks have been thrown. I already explained that, but things move forward. We'll get there. The final finished object I have to share with you is the big one for this week. I finished my Hugs and Kisses Shawl. So I do the Krafting Kitty Creator Spotlight. Every month we pick a creator. We spotlight them. You do patterns or tutorial. You make items based on their patterns or tutorials. You send me pictures. All of it's explained in a video that I posted on the 1st of the month. So if you want all the specifics, please go there. But there is a giveaway because people send me pictures and I like giving away stuff. So I've started making an item by the creators and having that be one of the giveaway items. So this month we're doing Crochet with Tiffany Hansen. And I picked her Hugs and Kisses Shawl to make, and I did. So she uses Lion Brand Scarfy. I used Premier Puzzle yarn on mine, and in her pattern tutorial she suggests a 5.5 millimeter hook. I used a 6 because that's what was suggested by the yarn. I think this could have very easily taken a 6.5 or even maybe a 7 hook, but I am very happy with how this particular item turned out. I ended up using almost all of 2 balls of puzzle. This is what's left of the second ball of puzzle. And here is the item. You flip it, so I don't think there's a right or wrong side to this one, but it is a very large, so it's a wide but kind of shallow shawl. For the border, I just went with a simple single crochet border around the whole thing to kind of just clean up the edges and tie it together. But here you go. I quite like it. I love how it turned out. I hope whoever receives it will be excited by it. Yeah, so keep sending me the things. You can post them on Facebook group. Do all that, and we will have our fun later. This, I believe, is allergies. We are in Erin allergy season once again. Spring and fall. Okay, so works in progress. I've got a little bit to show you. So I worked a little bit on Bingo's second sock. I'll be honest, I did in putting 2 kids to sleep each night this week. I was kind of bouncing around. I didn't have a lot of time to sit and do that, but here you go. She wanted the Premier Fruit sock yarn in orange, so that's what she's getting. She likes shorty socks, so I'm kind of using the Crazy Sock Ladies vanilla socks on 9-inch Circ tutorial merged with the Premier Kids Knit Socks pattern that is on their website when you look at that yarn, and making socks. I've already finished one, so that's the second one. Yay, we're over halfway there. I'm using my Clover Takumi US 2 9-inch circulars, and oh, the bag is by Queen Crafts by Bridget. Check her out. We love Bridget. She's awesome. And then, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so sniffly. I'm gonna try to power through. Oh, I mentioned I had started the knit project. There you go. It's literally like 3 rows in. It isn't far. The other thing I have, okay, since I didn't do Fridays with Fred yesterday, I thought I'd real quick show you my progress there. I put the stitch marker on the wrong side. So this is the wrong side of the work, but this is where I was last week Friday, and now this Friday I am here. I'm about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've done 5 increases of 13 on the first grade of increases. So here you go. Progress, it's coming along. This is the second sleeve for Brian's shirt that I'm making out of the, it's called the Beginnings Cardigan. It's by Carla Patrick. It's from the book Knitting the Neighborhood, the official knitting patterns of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. The yarn I'm using, it is Hayfield Bonus Errant Tweed in the color Chestnut. And the stitch markers, those are just cheap ones I found on Amazon. The needles I'm using are my Chow Goo interchangeable needle set. I have the 5.5-inch stainless steel. I love it. The other thing I am working on is I wanted to do some Boggy Creek blankets. You saw I opened some Lion Brand yarn, and I got some ice cream big scoops. So I have very it is the start of a blanket. This pattern, the stitch pattern, I don't know what it's called. I don't think she said what it was called. I was watching Kim from Kim Crochet and Knits. She's been making a ton of baby blankets for her new grandbaby. I don't know if it's a granddaughter or not. But she's having a grandbaby. It's going to be her first grandbaby. She's making blankets. She described this pattern, and I thought it looked really, really adorable, and I loved the idea of it, so I copied her. And I have no shame in that. So I am doing the more neutral. So I got one that I thought would be good for boys and one that I thought might be good for girls. You know, take whatever colors you like. I don't think colors necessarily have a gender, but I thought this was more neutral, and perhaps if you had gendered preferences to color, this might be more for a boy. This is Butter Pecan in the Lion Brand Ice Cream Big Scoops, and then I am pairing that with this Bernat, Yarn Inspirations Bernat Baby Sport, which a sport weight yarn is normally a 2. This is labeled as a 3. I compared them in Joann's, and it is very, very similar weight-wise to the ice cream. So I'm using this gray and this Butter Pecan, and I'm striping it. So Kim's idea was to do 2 rows in each color, so you could just carry the yarn up the side. Yes. So brilliant, Kim. And I certainly hope all is going well for you. You are in my thoughts, and I am checking Angela's channel for all of your updates. If you don't know, Kim did get her lung transplant, and all kind of updates are coming from Angela at My Precious Yarnery. So go check out Angela, get all of your Kimmy updates and that. But otherwise, like, running her videos, running Kim's videos is likely pretty helpful for her because she's going to be out of the YouTube game for a while here. You know, understandably so. You get yourself better, lady. And yeah. So here we go. I'm working on it. I haven't decided what sort of border I want to make. I'm kind of, I'm winging it for the dimensions, and I'm trying to figure out like what size I need, so that will determine what border I do. Right now, so I did my initial chain, and I measured it, and so I saw a video from Mikey at the Crochet Crowd, and he was talking about shrinkage. So normally people, when they crochet, they make their chain and then it shrinks a little bit. I'm the opposite. I get a little bigger. So I must chain tightly and then like push it out with my stitches, which that's fine. But when I chained it, I thought I was just shy of the 40 inches. And after I did like 3 rows, I measured it and it pushed out to 43 inches. And I was like, yikes, that's not really a good margin of error. So I ripped it all out, and now I'm at like 37 inches, which should give me the ability to do an 1.5 inch border, which I think should be good. But we'll see. Yeah, I will figure it out. Yeah, so there we go. I don't have a name for that pattern. I don't have anything up. Basically, I took a screenshot of what Kimmy put up. She put like a little blurb in the corner of her screen when she was talking about how she made that blanket. I took a screenshot of that blurb and started doing it. And that is everything I have today. Yep. Short, sweet, that's it. I will hopefully get back on track here and see you a lot more next week. Thank you, everybody. And yeah. I'll see you later. Bye! That was weird.